Hey sippers, welcome to our show. While we're spilling, grab your cocktail and start sipping. Get ready to unwind with your girls.
Thank you for joining us for Cocktails and Conversation with your girls. I am Shataz, your co-host for tonight, and these are my beautiful co-hosts.
Hey sippers, it's your girl, Miss Jones to you.
Hey sippers, it's your girl Primp and Proper. Hi sippers, I'm Shay Marie.
We are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram at Cocktails and Conversation. And most importantly, sippers, don't forget to subscribe. Now get comfy because tonight we're discussing what are some of the questions you should ask or avoid during a first date. And our sip and spill for tonight is about the surprising coming out of the former NBA player Dwayne Wade's 11-year-old son, Zion.
Our drink for tonight is the Skittles Martini. Who wouldn't like to taste the rainbow? These cocktails are a hit at any party. This cute cocktail consists of Skittles, infused vodka, sweet and sour, and lemon lime soda, and garnished with a few pieces of Skittles. Okay, so let's try it.
Oops.
I like it. It's strong, but you can taste the Skittles. I can taste my lemon, flavor of the Skittles. The vodka is really good, so I like it. It mixes well together.
Ooh, watch yourself. Let's get a napkin for her. Hold on. You know what? This actually tastes really tasty. I guess because of the Skittles, it comes across really sweet.
I just need to scrape that stuff.
It comes across very sweet. For the Pregger sippers, I actually have apple cider in mine, right, Miss Shea Marie? Apple cider, and then I just have my Skittles. So it's really tasty.
I didn't really try it. I don't know what I think of it, but it's because of you have to be careful because of the residue that it can leave. So you do have to drain it. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a go, and I like how colorful it is.
But you didn't taste it.
Yeah, it tastes like juice.
It does.
Is it sweet?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't look like you like it.
It's very sweet. I don't like it. It's too sweet. It's just entirely too sweet. But it's beautiful. I mean, I think it would make a great cocktail for any party. And those who are interested in sweet drinks, they'll enjoy it.
It'll be a hit.
Yeah. First impressions are lasting impressions. You may have heard the saying, you only get one chance to make the first impression. Research supports that a popular model showing that within 7 seconds, a person makes several judgments about you and if they can trust you. It's no different when it comes to a first date. There's plenty of debate about what you can and cannot ask on the first date. Some people say you shouldn't go in too hard with the interrogation because it can make the date think that you're desperate. Others say that probing questions help you really learn about each other. Ultimately, it's hard to know what to do. Which brings us to our question of the day. What are some questions you ask and avoid on a first date?
So, I think one of the questions that I normally avoid asking is, how much does the person make? But one question you should ask, and that's how I get around asking that question, is, what do you do for a living? So by asking that question, you can research and all of that. But you don't want to, come across asking a person about their money. So that would be the only question I would think not to ask on the first date. But what I would ask is about, their children, the number of children they have, if they have any, where they're from, because I really need to know that. Because that goes with my research. Because people move around, so you got, where did you, And then also I, would ask if they went to school or not, what school they graduated from, and why did their last relationship end. Yes.
Okay. I have heard so many crazy stories about first dates. And some things I just wonder what would make someone ask this person this question. It just doesn't, especially on a first date. You definitely want to probe the person to be able to kind of have some sort of in-depth conversation, but there's certain things you just don't ask. One thing I think that a woman shouldn't ask, because it just comes across as you're being like, you wanting this man to marry you tomorrow. It's like, oh, when do you want to get married? Oh. Sis, you need to slow down. Yeah. Like, you don't even know if you like him yet. Like, slow down, because he looks at you like that's something. Of course, that's a question you're going to ask as the relationship progresses. But a first date, pause. Like, you just come across looking a little like you're trying to ask him to tell you, like you're trying to have him to marry you tomorrow, and it's a red flag. Another question that I have heard, and I'm just floored by it, is, oh, well, how many sexual partners have you had? What? One, don't even ask me that. Because it was before you. We're not even talking. Don't even bring up sex. Right. Sex shouldn't even be brought up on the first date, because what are you telling the person? Yes. And even if you're down the line, you guys are serious, you get into a monogamous relationship, I still don't think you should be asking me how many people I slept with. That's not something that you ask someone. What? I'm serious.
I like to keep it real general on a first date. I ask the basics, what do you do for a living? Do you have any kids? What happened with your last relationship? Are you crazy? Are you insecure?
Oh my God, you asked? Oh my God.
I want to know. Like, I don't need nobody stalking my house. I don't need nobody stalking my house after the first date. But I would definitely, the reason why I keep it general, because I want to see if that person is into me. So I give them time to ask me questions. And if I see that person isn't asking me questions, you're not interested. You're here for something else. I don't know what it is, but it's not going to happen.
A season.
Exactly. Questions that I do avoid is, again, marriage and any sexual questions. Like, as soon as you open your mouth about sex or make any sexual statements, I'm out of there. Like, I'm not even talking to you no more. Like, sir, I don't know what you're looking for. You're not going to get it here. Whatever. But, yeah, I keep it general. I want to know, what do you do for a living? Are you busy? I need to make sure that, you're not going to be stalking me. You don't have a lot of time on your hand. I need to make sure that, you keep yourself occupied. I want to know, what do you do on your spare time? That tells a lot about a person. Are you health conscious? Do you work out? Like, general, but don't get too personal. I want to, test it out, see. I'm not talking about sexual or whatever. But, yeah, maybe on the second date, we can take the questions a little more serious, because if you ask me on the second date, I know you're serious and you want to take it to the next level, maybe. So.
Well, I agree with you, Shay. I wouldn't ask about money, but I would ask, what do you do for a living? And the first date, I think I want to feel out, do we even have a chemistry? So let's say if we go to Topgolf or something, like, how do we interact with one another when it comes to playing? Are you competitive? Do you take it too far? Like, I don't know, little things like that, and just see if we can just have a good time together. And we'll just ask like basic questions, like the things I need to know right away. Do you have a girlfriend? Because sometimes with guys, no, because they will ask you out on a date and they have a girlfriend. Yeah. And then with guys nowadays, you have to be more specific. It depends on what kind of guy you're dating, because sometimes you have to say, not only
are you single?
do you have anybody that thinks that they're your girlfriend? Do you have a crazy ex? Like, things like that I need to know. Do you have kids? Do you, okay, where did you go to school? Things like that. And questions, and I'll ask about, what do you believe in? And beliefs are important. I would want to know that by the first date. Like, so we can see, like, if we will connect. Even if you don't believe in the same thing as me, we can possibly go on a second date. Like, if you're not that strong, I don't know. I'm not sure.
What are questions you would avoid?
Sex. Like, no. That's a complete turn off if a guy brings up sex. I'm like, what? I'm gonna hang up the phone, or I'm gonna take me home, or I'll tell my sister, hey, tell me this emergency, call my phone. I always have my friends or my sister on the other end, like, okay, I'm gonna text you like a period. That means call my phone and get me out of there. All the time. If the date is going well, you won't get a text from me. But if you get a text from me, it'll be something quick, because I don't like being on my phone on a date. I always keep my phone on silent in my purse so you can have my undivided attention. But if I send that quick period, sis, get me out of there. Get me out. And another question I would avoid, yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it.
Would you go out with a person who you know only on a first name basis?
What do you mean?
For example, you know how you'll meet a guy and he'll just give you his first name or his nickname. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
But so if that's the case, on the first date, would you ask them for their full name or their last name?
Oh, I have.
Is that inappropriate?
I've never asked, but what I do is that, like, let's say he comes to get me, and let's say we go in his car, I've already taken a picture of his license plate and sent it to my girlfriends to say, okay, I'm going out with him. He has a Dodge Ram truck, 1500 blue, license plate NP2. Girl,
but that's for safety.
No, it's for
safety
safety. No, I'm
purposes.
serious. It's for safety purposes. So you have to make sure you do that, because there's crazies out there.
And that's why, you know, for me, I would ask a guy what his first and last name is. That seems like it's inappropriate, because you're like, you know, what's your first and last name? To me, it seems like it's inappropriate, but I would do that for safety purposes.
I do it all the time, especially when guys like DM me and try to, like, you know how you'll be following somebody and then like they'll scope it out, they'll like your picture, you'll like there's like a little flirting in between, and then they DM you. I'd always ask, what's your real name?
Exactly.
Because your Instagram name is nowhere near your real name. So I'll tell you, like, my name is my first and last name, and I expect the same.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I didn't say what I would ask when I go out on a date, but I would ask, what do you do on your spare time? What makes you happy? Do you like to travel? One question that I always liked is, tell me about your most embarrassing moment.
Really?
Because then you can just see like what the person's sense of humor is, because I'm a person, I like to laugh. So if you can't make me laugh, I'm not gonna say it's not gonna go too far, but I'm just gonna be like, ugh, you just wanna be serious 24/7, I'm not serious 24/7. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and my most embarrassing story always has people cracking up, so.
A question that I like to ask is, what are your short-term and long-term goals, to see if marriage is in that? Instead of asking, do you want to get married? If you ask that and, you know, they say, okay, 5 years from now I want to get married, but if marriage never pops up in the answer, then you know this person is not.
So what
someone
about
serious.
they forget? But no, because I totally get. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say they're not gonna forget, but how about if they just didn't mention it?
Yeah, I think
Then
somebody
that's not
asked
on
me
their
that.
mind at the moment. They don't know. They're,
Me. Because somebody asked me that recently and I didn't say marriage.
Yeah.
But it's like I slipped up, because I just feel like you should know I want to get married. So I'm just telling you what are my other goals.
I have those, like, people would ask me like certain questions and marriage would never come up in the conversation. And it's like, I'm seriously not thinking about marriage right now. I'm thinking about getting my career off the ground and my kids. Like, that's my answer. It's like, but like, Shataz, why isn't marriage in that equation? And it should be. So, yeah.
Yeah, because if you didn't mention, like, to me, if you didn't mention marriage and you were talking about your professional goals, I would think you are more career driven. And so a relationship is not, maybe
Right.
not a priority.
You can easily turn around and say, okay, so those are your professional / career goals. What are your personal goals? And see if they happen to say it, because automatically somebody asks me what my short-term and long-term goals are. I wouldn't be thinking, yeah, my short-term goal is to get married, or one of my long-term goals is, it would be all professional.
Okay.
Right. You said something. You said that you would, if the person doesn't ask you questions, that's how you know if they're interested in you. What about if you're on a date with someone and they, I don't know if they're, say for instance, maybe shy or nervous, and they don't ask you as much questions. Like, how do you take that? Because recently I went on a date with a guy, and we spoke on the phone prior to going on a date. Like, we spoke on the phone for like months. But it's like I was not getting that you're interested. Because, you know, you go on dates, the guys want to know all about you. They're asking you questions. But he wasn't like that.
But he was interested in you?
I believe so. He says he is. But that part didn't add up. I was like, maybe he was shy, but...
So don't, when you meet a guy that you're really interested in, you start forming these questions like what I'm going to ask him ahead of time before the date? That's for everyone, I would think.
I don't know. For guys, I think it's a little different, because I'm not going to say for guys. Let's say, I know ladies, okay, you ever went out with somebody and they're a nice person, but they just don't have any communication? You understand what I like? They just really it's kind of like, and that's kind of just a deal breaker for you, because it's like, oh, you're not asking me anything. I'm not, like, it's just kind of dry. You understand? It's not that the person probably don't like you, but they probably don't know how to communicate.
So do you continue?
Me personally, that's a yeah, because I like to talk. I like to talk, and not necessarily, he doesn't have to be a talker, because my husband is not a talker. Like, he's not at all.
But when you get him in that moment.
When I get him in that moment, or when we're out, I mean, listen, we're talking, we're laughing, we're friends. You understand what I mean? So I can go, it took me a while, let me just say this. It took me a while to be able to say, hey, you know what? Everyone's not the same. Because if my husband, ladies, you've met my husband before.
Yeah.
Right when he walk in, he don't sit there and be like, hey, Miss Shay Marie, hey. He'd be like, hey, and he walk right upstairs. He's not that person that's going to sit there and talk, and he's not that. Yeah, and that's okay. But in the beginning, that used to bother me, because he was
So what
always like that.
attracted you?
We were friends first, so I knew his personality before, but he's just not as outspoken as me. Like, if I walk in a room and we all, oh, hi, I'm Tracy. How you, like, that's what type of person I am. You understand what I mean? So I used to always say that, oh my gosh, you're kind of borderline rude, but it's not,
No.
it's his personality.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
So, ladies, since we're on the topic of dating, you know, I have a lot of stories about dating. Who determines what restaurant you go to, or where you go on your first date? Do you let him determine it, or do you pick it?
I let him determine, because I want to see his taste. Not saying that it matters, but I do. I want to see what kind of taste he has. And for the most part, I've been going on some good dates, honey, and be eating good. I eat good. Sometimes if the date is bad, I'm thinking about the food. Like, okay, bye. You can keep talking, sir, but I'm eating. Sorry, but I'm telling you, you know, on the first date, first impressions, you know if this is somebody you want to go on a second date with. And majority of the time, we may go, it's 50-50, but the food be good. Y'all know how to, men know how to pick, so let them pick, ladies.
For me, I agree with Shataz. I would let the man pick to see what kind of taste he has. And also a lot to see if he wants to impress you or whatever. I recently went out on a lunch date with a guy.
You don't sound too happy.
And I let him pick. And he took me to a buffet.
Not a buffet, baby.
And then, you
He
know,
would have been there waiting on me.
Hold on.
How did you look when you went inside? But what kind of buffet was it?
it was
Chinese.
it was a
Chinese.
Indian buffet. And I didn't like any of the food. It was too spicy. I didn't like the presentation of it. I didn't like it. So I put a little bit of everything on my plate. And then he was like, after I finished eating, he was like, you know you can eat all you want. And I was so mad. Like, you're not impressing me. I know what a buffet is.
But did he act like, did y'all have a conversation for him to find out what you like to eat?
I didn't go there because I knew it wasn't going to be
No second date?
no second date.
After
He was,
the buffet.
he was trying to plan the second date on the first date, but then all his second date options, oh, you know, do you own a bike? I'm like, no. He was like, oh, well, we can rent a bike. We can rent bikes. No, I'm not no outdoorsy girl. We're not bike riding. We're not doing any of that. So because you're interested in that, I know you're not the one. I'm sorry.
He might be health conscious.
Oh, so he gonna be doing it by himself.
How about you, Perp? You got any good stories?
So I had to learn the hard way. Let him pick. But this guy was so persistent and like, oh no, he wasn't. He was like from another city, so he wanted me to pick out the place because I'm from, Broward or whatnot. I'm like, okay, we can go to True Luxe. I was like, that's a place. Have you ever been? He said no. I was like, okay, I haven't been either. So I wanted to pick a place that we both haven't been. But you never know the person's pockets. But you around here trying to impress me, so I just picked the restaurant. So when we got there, one thing I don't do, no matter how expensive the restaurant is, I always order like water in my main dish. Because I just want to be respectful about
so you a good date, girl, not me.
It all depends. Because we didn't have like a big communication. We had just spoke on the phone and then we went on a date. So, but if I know you got, I'm ordering a appetizer, dessert, tea, wine, all of that. But this day I was being very modest and I had my water and he was like, oh, you don't want no wine? We could get a bottle. I'm like, I was like, no, it's okay. He was like, he ordered him a drink. Okay. So the next day, he was like, what do you want to do? So I was like, okay, I want to go on a helicopter ride. And I was like, that would be so cute and I never been, whatever. He was like, and I sent him the link so he could look at the prices because they were like a little high. And he was like, okay, let's go. I'm going to pick you up. So when we get there in the office to pick the package, I don't know what your pockets are looking like. So the cheapest package was like $500.
Girl, he should have went on Groupon, girl. They be buying.
And then the highest package was probably like $1,200. So the lady was like, which package do you want to go on? Do you want to go here across Miami or all this stuff? I was like looking at him like, so what do you want? He was like, no, you pick. No, you pick. So it was just like us going back and forth of who's going to pick. And then after he paid, he picked the cheapest one, which was the $500. And after he paid, it was just like tension. Like it was not the same.
Of course, you made that man spend $500.
But he was, first of all, how you know I wasn't going to pick the $1,200 package? So then when we got in the the helicopter, I'm like so excited.
Since he was mad. He was big mad.
So after the day, he brought me home. He was like, bye. We text that night. After that, I never heard from him again.
Girl.
So it sounded like he was testing you.
You think so?
I promise. I'm not even going to lie to you. My son, I'm going to put him on game. You see stuff like that? I'm gonna be real with you. No. I gotta say this because some women are, the expectations be unrealistic. First and foremost, my husband is not, I said my husband, my son not spending $500 on a date that's probably not even worth $500. Not that I'm saying.
Second date.
He don't know if you worth he don't know if you worth $500. And I'm gonna tell him straight up.
Why did he let me pick?
That was, I guess he was baiting you, sis, because I personally, and this is gonna sound so cheap, but I'm gonna be real with you. Don't take me to the movies on the first date.
Oh, no.
Honestly, you take me out for, let's grab a cup of coffee. We go somewhere, go to the park. We can sit and talk. Within that time I talk to you, then I'll know if you even worth me spending $1 on you. And that's what I'm gonna tell my son, because $500, sis, I wouldn't have called you.
But that's his fault. Because listen, because I feel like when certain guys, right, and when certain guys see me, they probably already have this notion that preconceived notion that, oh, I'm this type of girl, and I'm really not. So you already want to put on, that's your fault. Because how I met him was at a baby shower, and then was my foot broken? Yeah, I think my foot wasn't broken. No. I was waiting outside, and he comes by. He had like a Jaguar parked next to my car, and then he wanted to make sure I knew that was his car.
Girl, so he kept hitting the button.
Yeah, and then he walked into it. He wasn't even ready to go. So it was like he was putting on. Right. So it's just like you try to attention. Right. You wanted to impress me because you thought I was this kind of girl. But little do you know, but don't get it twisted. I do like finer things, like, because I know I would spend money on a guy too. I take guys on dates too. But I would like walks in the park. Let's go grab a cocktail, or like, no, not a cocktail. I don't even drink on the first date. No, I don't even, scratch that. But let's, no, I don't. Let's go out for like, I don't know, something simple. You don't have to spend money in order to get to know somebody or have a good time. And that's when you have the best time, because then you can really see like.
You do.
You see what the vibe is.
Yeah, you see if we have chemistry or not. But he was doing the most. And then he didn't call.
Hold on. You said something earlier. You said maybe he was testing her.
He was doing the most. He wanted to impress her.
Now that she tells me the story of how he wanted, her to know that he drove a Jaguar and all of that, maybe, like, I don't know. That's strange that if there was tension after he paid the money. That's why I don't understand.
Girl, sis, that probably was his rent money or his car.
But when she said, but he asked her, what does she want to do? And you said a helicopter ride.
Before. We were actually on a yacht or whatever. And the guy was sitting next to me. And when I tell you, he was like, whoa. So I'm not noticing what he's doing because, like, I'm not into all the materialistic stuff. So my girlfriend's like, Shataz, you don't see what he's doing? So I'm like, no. She's like, he trying to show you he got a Rolex watch on, his pinky ring blinging, and he got on Giuseppe's. I'm like, are you serious? So then I started paying attention, and sure enough, he was like trying to get me. I was like, what a turn off. That was a turn off.
That's when you order the highest stuff. I mean, I do that.
I didn't even bother. I was so disgusted with his behavior that I didn't even bother. Like, sir, don't even.
If you showing me you got it, I'm gonna test it.
Well, that's what she did.
Exactly.
She tested it out.
And she ain't never get a call back.
She got a airplane ride.
I got the experience. Can't nobody take that from me.
Yeah, that was her first time.
Oh gosh, that is too
funny.
What's the most expensive date you ever been on? Like that you paid for?
Nah, I never paid for a date. Well, let's rewind, okay? This taught me a huge lesson. A huge lesson. Always bring money.
Oh Lord. Y'all was back there washing dishes.
What happened?
Because luckily I had it. I was just I'm more conscious now to always make sure I have money. But back then, I did have the money, but it didn't pop in my mind to bring money because I might have to pay for the date. But that's what I feel like crying.
What happened on the date?
First of all, see, I'm getting emotional. We went to Applebee's.
You must have been in high school. You was young.
I was in college. I was like
college.
Maybe 21 or something like that.
You
anyway, we went to Applebee's. And, first of all, he, I shouldn't say it, but he asked me out. And I was like, okay. When we get to the restaurant, we order food and everything. It's time to pay. He's like,
What did he say?
I only got $10 on this.
Girl, we would have been to the bathroom.
What the hell? No, what?
To the bathroom.
Oh, no. I want to say, hold on. Hold on.
You know what I said? I said, for real? I was like, for real? Luckily, I have my debit card with me. I could pay for the date.
How much was the date?
Applebee's, $30. 30.
Shame.
And he only had 10.
He only got
And he
10
asked
on
you
it.
out.
He got 10 on it. Joe.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
Oh, my
Dad,
God.
what's the most expensive date you ever paid for?
Oh, my
How much
God.
is painting with the twist?
Like 30, 35.
Per person.
Okay. Because I reserved it, like I kept saying, let's go do painting with the twist or whatever. I guess he don't know how to do it, like go online. I don't know.
He must be a hood.
I don't know. But I paid for it online. So when we got there, the date went good. I thought about my money all night.
Yes.
Then I was like, okay, let's go to the restaurant because that'll make up for my money. It didn't happen.
What happened?
You didn't go to the restaurant?
No, we went partying. I didn't get my $30 back.
And he said he was gonna give it back.
You know what? I didn't even ask. I just assumed
Assumed
that
that
he knows
automatically.
that he owed me the $30.
Just like if you drive somewhere far for a date, shouldn't the man give you the gas money?
I don't really.
I automatically, I'm not going to drive. That's one, right?
Yeah, I don't like
I meet up. I don't want them to pick me up. I don't want them to know where I live. So we meet
Like
up
if
somewhere.
if you're dating
Somewhere.
someone in another city, like in Orlando.
Oh, I ain't going that far for no date.
Okay, I have.
Oh, you have?
You a driver, huh?
Yeah.
I ain't doing that.
No, not for no date.
Fly me.
Yeah.
To Orlando?
Yeah.
That's what she ain't no second.
You know, second date.
He wasn't the one anyway.
That's why she ain't get no second. You see, my son
That's
going to be
right.
avoiding all of that.
Anyways, listen to this. I paid for a date, right? I brought this guy who I was dating. I brought him to Prime 112. He never been, but I've been like a lot of times. So I brought him there. I brought him whatever he wanted. Prime 112, your bill coming up to like $100 and something easily. That's without drinks. Yeah, I paid for it. I took him out.
What?
So,
Was this the first date?
no, this was like the third date, and I took him out. So, and he drove us. But let me tell you something. After I took him to Prime 112, he took another girl to Prime 112. And I put you on a Prime 112, and you go to take another girl to Prime 112? And let me... And I was just like, so... And the way I found out... Let me tell you how this guy lied to me. So I guess when he went out with the girl, he took a picture of his food. The night we went, he didn't take a picture of his food. So he uploaded out the blue. We used to go out and eat a lot. He uploaded out the blue a picture of a steak. I'm like, I know this plate. This is not a restaurant we've been. I was like, where did you go? He was like, I went out with my homeboy. I said, listen, that's Prime 112 plate. Because I know how they plate up their food. I said, that's Prime 112.
You ain't take no homeboy. You ain't go out with no homeboy.
He was like, oh no, me and my homeboys went out to eat, this and that. All the gang. No, you're lying. If your girl, he took a girl, but that's how I found out. Like, just keep probing, because I wouldn't let it go.
And you found out.
He thought I wouldn't know the plate. Oh, I know the plates, because I go out and eat a lot.
I actually took my husband out for drinks, and paid for it. He was surprised by it. And
Before you were married?
yeah, this was when we were actually just talking. His birthday was coming up. And I took him out for drinks. And we had a great time. We had a very good time. But it just, I bring that up to bring this up. When we first started dating, we kind of, because we were friends first, we lost in contact. You know, we rekindled, started talking back, whatever. So he's trying to impress me. He took me to this restaurant. So I had to go to the restaurant. And honey, when I go, I am not that person that's going to be modest. I'm going to order me a drink, because that's what I want to drink. I'm going to order me my appetizer. I'm going to order me a full course meal. I'm going to order a dessert. Mm-hmm. And I remember our bill coming up to so much money. I don't know, probably like $2 something, because he drinks, I drink. Let's say our bill was like $200 something. So, you know, he made it seem like it wasn't that, and he paid for it. So later down in our relationship, he's like, you took me to that expensive ass restaurant. You made me take you to that expensive ass restaurant and spent all that money. You ain't even give me a kiss that night. Aww. You gave me a hug and said good. You gave me a hug and said good night. And I just thought to myself, like, what do men be expecting when they take you out to these places? Like, they do.
I don't know why.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Money does not equate nothing. A date does not equate anything. You spent the money. I didn't put a gun to your head. You took me out. You should have said, no, you can't have that, man. Mm-hmm. You should have said, listen, when we get
you should, no. What you should have said is what Shay Marie. I got 10. You got 10 on it.
Right. Hey, sippers. There were many of us taken by surprise earlier this month by the surprise reveal of Dwayne Wade's 11-year-old son, Zion. If we had any questions or concern on where Dwayne Wade and wife Gabrielle Union stand with their child's sexuality, it was made crystal clear on their social media. Dwayne Wade let the world know that he fully supports his 11-year-old son, Zion, who participated in the annual Miami Beach Pride March. Wade, who was in Toronto for an NBA game, posted a picture on his Instagram story of Zion posing with stepmom Gabrielle Union with the caption, Zion had his cheering section today. Wish I was there to see you smile, kid. Many were in awe of the display of unconditional love and support that was showcased. What are your thoughts? So my thoughts on this, when I seen it, I was like, it's good to have a support system, no matter who you are. And I just feel like, okay, he's 11. Some people feel like, oh, he's 11. He doesn't know what he wants. He's too young to know what his sexuality is. But at the end of the day, you don't know what that child is dealing with. So if his parents want to support him, let it be. Because if his parents didn't support him, imagine we'll have another kid that's contemplating suicide. Would you rather him want to kill himself or want to be able to live freely in who he thinks he is? Even if you don't agree with it, love goes a long way. If people need to learn love more, like love people regardless. Unconditional love means I don't love you under any condition at all. It doesn't matter if we agree, disagree, if you do something that I don't like, or if you're living a type of life that I don't agree with. Unconditional love means I love you with no limits.
Very well said. When I saw the actual post, and I actually read online, I don't know, it was on some sort of news website, and I saw a guy comment and said, I wish, it was an older man, he said, I wish when I was in this situation battling in my mind, I had the support that this 11-year-old this 11-year-old boy has. And it really dawned on me that, you know, sometimes we don't pick what we want or what we want to do. Sometimes it is a battle. Some may say at 11 years old, just like what you said, you know, what does this person know? What does this child know about their sexuality? But you don't know what's going on in this child's head. You understand what I mean? Some people try to fight these urges and they can't. They're trying to quote unquote live right, supposedly, right? Because who's to say what the right way to live is? You understand what I mean? They're battling in their minds, and the person that they would think that they can open up to as far as friends and families, those are the people judging them the most. So when I saw that, it just kind of really it kind of dawned on me that, you know, love regardless. Show love regardless, because you showcasing that love goes a long way for that person who's dealing with whatever they're dealing with. So for Dwayne Wade, which was, you know, former NBA star, and, you know, his beautiful wife, Gabrielle Union, who's also in the entertainment business, for them to showcase to the world that they wanted to showcase their child unconditional love, it's so beautiful.
Well, I like how they support Zion. I thought it was beautiful. I would love my child unconditionally, no matter how they turn out. I may feel hurt in the inside, but at the end of the day, I can't show that child that. I could only pray for them, but regardless, whatever decision they choose, I would still love them through it. But for a man, I think that got to be hard. Like, for Dwayne Wade, I think that was very hard, because most men want their sons to carry out their name. So for them to turn out, you know, gay or whatever, it's probably hurtful. I can't explain how a man feel. I wish, you know, I knew. But as women, we're all nurturing. We're all going to love our kids no matter what. So I think it's beautiful. I mean, yeah, it's nice.
I applaud them for the way they handled the situation, because when I first saw the post, I saw it, someone shared it on Facebook, but they had a negative caption when they shared it. So what popped up in my mind is that, like you said, love and support goes a long way, especially when it comes from your family, your parents. Because if the world is against you and the world, you know, is not for you and doesn't support you, it's something for you to come home and have that love and support for your family. So you're going out being torn down by the world, but you can come home and be built up again. Mm-hmm. So to me, that shows me that he's gonna have like some real confidence, you know? And nowadays, kids need that confidence, because you can be easily torn down by your peers. So if you got somebody constantly building you up, you can sustain, you know, whatever people try to throw at you. So, you know, so I applaud them, and I wish more parents support their children through anything they're going through. You know, when your child is doing the opposite of what you want them to do, they need support. If their sexuality is not what you want it to be, they still need support. Yeah. If they decide they don't want to go to college, they still need support. You know, if they get pregnant at early, still need support. You can't walk away from something that is a part of you, you know?
That's true. Look at E.J. Johnson, Magic Johnson's son. Yeah. He's so confident. I love seeing him. His parents support him, and I think Zion is going to be the same way. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And it's something to just see, you know, I've seen grown adult men who are gay, and, you know, their parents rejected them. That's very sad. Like, you can't get over that. No matter how much
that hurt.
You carry it, no matter how much you try to cover it up. That's something that's deep inside, that you're rejected by your parents.
That's why someone be mean, shady.
Yeah.
They real shady now.
And especially in this era that we're living in with social media, you know, you don't only have, just like what you said, the world. The world literally sits on this platform, and because he is a celebrity's child, you know, he is being firsthand, you know, attacked by millions of people. Like, I've seen social media literally tear down people. So that love and support definitely is going to go a long way.
Yeah. Well, we would love to keep the conversation going, but unfortunately, we're running out of time. But you can keep the conversation going by leaving your comments below and on Facebook and Instagram at Cocktails and Conversations.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you Friday night at 8 p.m. for Cocktails and Conversation with your girls. Good night.